What's up guys, it's Russell again. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my latest stock alert services reviewed, all the options and investing services that I also check out and publish here every day. So today I'm going to talk about Lightning Trend Trader by a guy called Mark Lichtenfeld. He's part of the Oxford Club, which I've talked about in quite a few other videos by now because I'm a Chairman Circle member. I've got all their services. I just love their services. They have all sorts of things from short-term to long-term trading, options to stocks to bonds. But Lightning Trend Trader is one of the more short-term ones that they have. So here is the main guy that does the alerts. His name Mark Lichtenfeld. So he is the person who runs Lightning Trend Trader. So it's a biotech alerts service basically. And a lot of people are put off with biotech because how risky and volatile that they can be. But if you know what you're doing, then you can make an absolute fortune on these companies based on simple things like FDA decisions. And it's one of the most lucrative but also notoriously risky industries or sectors for investing in. However, if you have the right investment strategy, like somebody like Kyle Dennis does or Mark Lichtenfeld, you can make a lot of profits pretty easily with biotech investing if you're careful. So you have to be careful though, and for this level of experience that Mark brings, he charges $4,000 per year, which means that you have to have a reasonable size account, right? That's $4,000. You can't really, use a $5,000 account and expect to make a huge return on your investment with that. So, however, most of his trades make huge percentage returns because, as I'll go into a little bit further down here, he has one of the best strategies I've seen for buying biotech companies. So he is well known for dividend investing. So he has done this book called Get Rich with Dividends. I highly recommend that you check that out if you want to do some dividend investing. I do some. It's a fantastic way to make some passive income on the side while you're trading, like more actively trading these services. So this is what Mark does. He invests in companies that own the royalties to the pharmaceutical drugs. So he gets biotech royalties are his bread and butter, and he's really good at it, and he outperforms the S&P quite dramatically over the years. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the idea. So this is the biotech's royalty strategy that he uses. So he buys the companies, or the stocks of the companies that hold the royalties to the FDA-approved drugs. So these companies don't actually do any of the research and development or the sales or the marketing for these new drugs. They just get paid every single time a drug is sold at the pharmacy. And they can get paid a fair bit. Like they can get anywhere from 0.5% to 20% every single time a drug is sold at a pharmacy. So for them, it's a super duper passive income business model, right? It's a fantastic way to make some money. But the cool thing is that these companies don't just own like one drug. So they have the royalties to multiple drugs. And some of them haven't even been FDA approved yet. So that's where the real money is them getting the royalties or getting the options agreements for these drugs before they're FDA approved. So they'll have a revenue stream from the ones that they own the royalties to that are already FDA approved, but then they'll also get money for when the drugs are, come to market from the new ones as well. So you can imagine what happens to the price of one of these royalty holding companies when one of the new drugs that they have the royalties for is approved for, mass distribution and marketing. They basically skyrocket every single time that a new drug is approved. So that is at the heart of the Lightning Trend Trader strategy. So he buys shares in these royalty companies and just waits for these types of catalysts to drive the price up over time. So he claims 3,000% returns on this, and I've yet to see a 3,000% return on any of his trades. I guess it's possible, but I'll show you his portfolio at the moment and a couple of recent trades, and they certainly haven't been anywhere like 3,000% returns. So as usual, marketing for all these services is usually overhyped, and everybody gets excited at the prospect of a 3,000% return. In reality, it's quite different from that usually. So here's what you get with the service. You get monthly stock research recommendations. He usually sends out basically a couple of new companies every month and explains why in every report. He sends out an email and an SMS when you actually want to buy and sell. You can see his Lightning Trend portfolio, which shows all the positions. I'll show you that in a minute. It's not very interesting right now though. There's only a couple of positions in there. These extra free reports that all these companies send in, nothing to write home about. So yeah, like I said, $4,000 a year for Lightning Trend Trader. I feel like that's pretty steep unless you've got a decent sized account. So just kind of a thought there. The nice thing is these are kind of buy and hold swing trades. They're not day trades, so you don't have to be a full-time trader glued to your computer to actually take these trades. So it's relatively passive, right? It's yeah, but it is high risk too. So here's what I like about the Lightning Trend Trader. There is potential here for life-changing profits. It is possible that one morning you'll wake up and find that you're 100, 200, 300% up on one of these stocks because of an FDA decision. So Mark is awesome. He has got a really good track record. He's well known in the industry, and it is a clever strategy. But what I don't like about it is it's really hyped advertising. So you'll be a millionaire if you follow our advice. If you invest $1,000, you'll become a millionaire soon. That puts a lot of people off, and I've learned to look past this kind of thing, but a lot of people don't, and they actually think that that's what's really going to happen. So these guys might want to be careful with the FTC cracking down on some of these services, just to be a little bit careful about what they're promising. So that's really what I don't like about it. These 3,000% gains is just marketing. As I'll show you in a sec, there really isn't any 3,000% gainers in his portfolio recently. So here is inside the Lightning Trend Trader Oxford Club dashboard. Here are the two positions he currently has. ALDX and DRNA, both bought this year in February and in May. You can see he's down 10% on ALDX, and he is up 2.5% on DRNA. And it's worse for the options, right? He's also got options on those as well. So you can see it's a pretty flat portfolio. I mean, 8% negative if these positions are the same size. Not too bad. The market is really tanking. It's not the end of the world, but there certainly isn't any 3,000% winners that he's holding at the moment. So if this website will play ball, I'll try and show you what else is in the dashboard, and we can even have a look at a couple of Mark's other trades that he's done recently. So here is the dashboard. So you can see that was the portfolio we're just looking at. He has a couple of options guides, but nothing really that you can't find elsewhere for free. Here are some of the reports that he's recently put out. And looking up at some of the recent alerts, so take 38% gains on Soliton. That was May 10th, 9 days ago. So that is basically one of his biggest winners recently. We can have a quick look and see if this site is really annoying. It just kind of freezes all the time, so hopefully it doesn't conk out on us here. Okay, so here are the recent alerts. So let's see, nothing too exciting in any of these headlines. So let's have a look at stopped out of GoPro, so that was a loss. 38% gains on Soliton, that was a win. Let's have a look at sell 6 positions and kind of analyze 12 days ago what Mark did with these. But I'm pretty sure I looked at this before and there wasn't any 3,000% winners in it. Alright, so he says it's been a rough period for biotechs lately. So it might explain part of the reason why we're not seeing any 3,000% winners, right? We'll raise the stop on CLDX, action sell CLDX, so we should still get out with a profit. So he sold CLDX for a profit. Obviously not very much because he's not saying what the profit was, not bragging about 3,000% gains or anything. Let's see what else he did. CRSP. We're going to exit these positions. So that was a loss. CRSP, seal, sell seal, So yeah, so there's nothing here that's 3,000% winners or anything close. I don't think we can see his whole track record though, which is frustrating. Some of these Oxford services show the closed out positions for the last year or two or even three, but this lightning trend trader doesn't. So while I really like the philosophy behind buying companies that hold the royalties to drugs and not the actual drug companies themselves, I think it's a really nice idea. It's obviously legitimate, but like at the moment, if you were to look in there and you'd say, well, really, is this going to be worth $4,000 a year? And perhaps it is. Maybe later on in the year, this thing will get some gusto, and I can always make another video further down the line once I check back in and see if this thing has improved. But as of right now, it's nothing exciting to write home about, but I do like the idea and I like Mark. So maybe consider buying this, but for $4,000 you can probably get something a little more exciting. But let's see how the market does and how biotechs do for the rest of the year. And I'll try and do an update video in a few months and see how things are going then. Anyway, that's it. So thank you for listening to the Lightning Trend Trader review. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to if you want me to update you all the time on the different services that I review. And thanks again for listening. I'll catch up with you guys in the next video. Thanks.